It hurts every time I look into the mirror, till today. When some of my friends found out, they actually told the teacher. The school called my parents and my parents refused to meet with the principal. I went home and my parents shouted at me. They told me that it's just a phase and I would get over it. From what happened that day onwards, I started losing friends. People laughed and criticized me. My teachers aimed at me. They said, "No one will love you." I was only 10 years old when this happened. I then fell into depression to the point where I was self-harming and having suicidal thoughts. My parents are currently ignoring all my pain. They still think this doesn't matter and I should do what others want me to do and not be myself. And they keep telling me to grow out my hair, and every single time I go to the barber and get a haircut, and when I reach home they will start shouting at me, and they've actually started to even cut my allowance, and they say they would disown me if they could.
我是个女生，而我喜欢女生。现在呢，我有一个交往了1年的对象。我们的恋情也不算完全属于地下情那种，就其实身边的朋友都知道我们的关系。虽然如此我和我的另外一半其实心里都知道，其实我们就是还有一个更艰难而且更巨大的一个挑战在我们的前方。那是因为我们并没有向我们的父母出柜。那其实我和我的妈妈感情还算不错的，就几乎什么都能聊，就是唯独感情这一方面，如果我有得避开，我都会避开哦。是有尝试就想要和父母就坦诚的啦，可是就是会害怕他们不能接受啊。因为我妈妈也曾经有说过，说她觉得同性恋这个事情其实是很不正常的，所以我觉得说就只应该是保不住火的啦。总有一天他们应该，也不是应该说总有一天他们应该会发现到啦。所以我希望如果真的有那么的一天的话，他们可以接受，然后希望他们理解说无论发生什么事情都好，我还是会把他们当成一家人。
As long as I opened my eyes to the world, I knew I was different. I never knew that I could ever become a woman, and felt it's just a phase, felt it's just my fantasy, and it is my dream. And after that I found out I could actually become a woman or transition to womanhood using hormones. But that was just the starting point of my life. I had to actually have a source of income. I had to put food on my table. And I remembered when I was waiting for my turn on the interview, downstairs I was stared by Malay women who stared at me as if I was not supposed to be there. But I thought to myself, if you don't want to give chance to marginalized people like trans people, you don't like them doing sex work, which it is somehow of an immoral thing or an immoral act. But when a trans person go out and apply for a job, what they call a decent job. Sex work is also a decent job. It's still a job. It is still also frowned upon. And I don't know what this world wants. So I applied for the job, and I remembered it's very emotional because I knew of many trans people who apply for jobs. Dressing up or dress up is always the attire is always a big issue. I asked my ex-manager if I could wear female clothes, and he just looked at me with a warm smile, calm, and told me that you can wear whatever you want. That gave me a lot of comfort in myself. My email name was changed. I was addressed by female pronouns. I was treated just like any ordinary human being, any ordinary woman working. I felt very privileged as compared to my other trans friends in their workplaces.
I'd say it was a lot easier to find a relationship then because it didn't matter, but it changed ever since Grindr and those other apps came on. So the main concept now between gay people, especially men, is just fucking go. It's like fast food sex through this app. Then I was positive in 2015, and it was my principle to let my potential partner at that time when I was first diagnosed to at least let, even though I was undetectable already, to at least let my potential partner um, know of my status. And the moment anything was mentioned on this, I was rejected immediately and it got really, really lonely. So being positive, being Malay, being gay kind of limits your dating circle to zero. Like, I mean, everyone in the apps are just finding for sex. You get that feeling that you're alone in this, uh, because I guess I'm still sticking to my principle where eventually I'll find someone to be with through thick and thin. But it seems like it's not going to happen. So you end up, just giving up on hope and
These are some of the tweets that I got this year during the pandemic. Quote 1. LGBT people are the worst. Quote 2. It's not enough that you want to normalize your abnormal practice. You use lies and slander to achieve it. Quote 3. You asked for this. Quote 4. Screenshots of your tweets have been made to make it easier for the authorities to take the necessary action. Earlier this year, around August 2020, at least 4 police reports were lodged against me, against infographics that I made in response to our Minister of Religious Affairs announcement, giving the religious police, in quotation marks, full license to carry out its enforcement actions. So it's been a few months now, and I'm still pretty angry that I was targeted, harassed online, and gaslighted by people who really tried their hardest to invalidate not just my own perception, but also the lived realities of so many trans people in Malaysia. I still have anxiety now whenever I want to just post on social media. I also had to prepare for the possibility of a police investigation and trying not to get doxxed, which was just stressful and anxiety inducing. And during the time it was happening, I would get moments of clarity when I would really think about how ridiculous and absurd the situation is. That a government-funded body, along with other non-state actors, coordinated a targeted campaign to harass and silence me, an institutionalist young woman, on my own social media accounts, just because they didn't like or agreed with what I had said. So, what was it about me that was so threatening? That I'm a young queer woman who was vocally disagreeing and questioning government policies? Or that my words were too confrontational to refute, and that it's just easier to resort to using the state to silence me?
Dari kecil saya tertarik dengan lelaki dan saya tidak pernah rasa tarikan yang sama terhadap perempuan. Saya dibesarkan dalam keluarga Islam. Pegangan agama dalam keluarga saya sangat teguh. Dari kecil kami diajarkan agama. Saya sangat menyayangi agama saya. Dari kecil saya selalu mengambil inisiatif untuk belajar agama dengan lebih mendalam. Tetapi pada umur 6 tahun saya ditegur oleh kakak saya kerana dia tidak suka saya menyimpan gambar-gambar pemain bola atau pelakon lelaki dan dia tidak suka saya katakan lelaki itu kacak. Dia menjelaskan bahawa itu salah dari segi agama dan kemanusiaan. Lelaki tak boleh suka kepada lelaki. Saya hanya boleh suka kepada perempuan. Sejak dari itu, saya tidak lagi sesekali pernah menyebut atau menunjukkan perasaan diri saya kepada sesiapa sekalipun. Sehinggalah saya berumur 26 tahun. Saya menyembunyikan perasaan saya sebaik mungkin. Tapi kadang-kadang terlalu sukar untuk saya memendam rasa. Kadang-kadang saya hampir diketahui oleh sahabat-sahabat saya di sekolah dan di universiti. Tapi saya akan selalu menipu dan menipu bagi menyembunyikan perasaan saya. Lama-kelamaan saya mula jauhkan diri dari kawan-kawan saya dan orang-orang lain. Saya takut saya tersalah cakap atau tertunjukkan diri saya yang sebenarnya. Saya menciptakan satu persona yang sentiasa tersenyum dan gembira bila di khalayak ramai atau dengan keluarga dan sahabat handai. Saya selalu menangis kesorangan dalam bilik, tetapi bila ada orang datang, saya akan terus sapu air mata dan tersenyum sambil ketawa untuk menyembunyikan perasaan saya. Saya tak boleh bagi sesiapa pun nampak kesedihan saya sebab saya tak boleh bagi tahu siapa-siapa pun tentang diri saya. Saya rasa dunia tidak memahami saya. Saya mula membenci pada diri sendiri. Kenapa aku macam ni? Perasaan ini salah. Dan ini adalah dosa yang dibenci oleh Tuhan. Saya bersolat dan mengamalkan agama sebaik mungkin. Saya percaya Tuhan tidak akan menghukum saya jika saya tidak mengikut nafsu saya. Tuhan tidak akan menghukum semata-mata kerana perasaan yang saya rasakan. Saya sangat menyayangi Tuhan, tetapi ia sangat menyakitkan bila saya ke masjid atau ke surau. Segelintir ustaz-ustaz dan ahli agamaan menghina dan mengutuk orang-orang seperti saya. Mereka menggunakan kata-kata yang menyakitkan. Saya pergi ke rumah Tuhan kerana saya sayang Tuhan, tetapi saya harus mendengar mereka mengutuk orang-orang seperti saya. Ini membuatkan saya lebih benci kepada diri saya.
I enjoyed my Spider-Man action figure. I enjoyed playing football with my friends until one day everything changed. My friends told me that we can't play with you anymore because you are not a boy. I didn't understand. I've never felt like a girl. Am I a problem? Is being trans something wrong? So then I was approached by a pastor to pray the gay away because apparently I was sexually broken, and I fell for it and I tried. Because of that conversion therapy, I ended up in a hospital in the emergency unit, almost dying. On my 21st birthday last year, I told myself that this is the day where I will officially kill myself. I was planning my suicide, the greatest one yet. 21 years in the planning, finally it's gonna happen. Fortunately, on the 4th of March, 4 days before my birthday, I've met my amazing friends who I call my family now. And they've accepted me, they encouraged me to be who I am and to fight for what I stand for.
Hello, the person you called is unavailable. Please leave a message after the beep.